Literally no one has been saying that because Kamala isn't a mom, she can't run a country. You're responding to stuff you made up. 3 laughing emojis. Oh, I have so many screenshots to show you. Really simple, under-discussed reason why Kamala Harris shouldn't be president. No children. Are we allowed to point out that Kamala has no children? There is something to be said about having a head of state who has a long-term, unselfish vision for protecting their country's interests. You want to leave the nation a better place in part for your legacy. Some monarchies are very good at this. Hard to do that with no children. I'm so sorry none of you have the capacity to love people whose DNA you don't share. Because obviously you don't consider stepchildren or adopted children on the same level as biological children. Otherwise, you wouldn't be saying she has no kids when she has 2 stepkids. Kamala Harris is the ultimate dink candidate. NPC dink. She's probably a proud dink. This is a dangerous game. Harris has no biological children. We don't know if this barrenness is by choice or biological. In an election where the left is currently winning the narrative on IVF with normies, pushing this comes with some serious risk of peril. One teary-eyed Oprah special, and suddenly Kamala is sympathetic within a large demographic where the GOP already needs to massively improve to ensure victory. That sounds like a skill issue to me. Now, as this person pointed out, Laura Loomer has no kids, and the right loves her. Also, just as a reminder, George Washington had no biological children. He did have stepchildren, though. People who haven't raised children aren't fully adult. So again, I guess that means George Washington was not fully adult. Now, I asked about George, and this person said yes, he was. Martha and George raised Martha's 2 kids. Much like Kamala has 2 stepkids, and a number of nieces and nephews, and no doubt had a fuller understanding of human nature because of the experience. So even though George Washington didn't have kids, he was a general. He had skin in the game. If you don't have something of value to pass on, children, a country you're trying to establish, then you have very little value to fight for. Wouldn't being president mean that you're trying to, build a country up? And of course we have transphobia. This person says that stepchildren, and I assume adopted children, are definitely not the same as blood children. The world is ruled by childless women now. It's what they do instead of having kids. When am I getting my promotion? 'Cause I don't make a lot of money. Then this person said that nobody would try to stop me if I tried to off myself because I had to have kids. Yay, parents. And speaking of Laura Loomer not having kids, here she writes, "It's time for Republicans to start talking about Kamala Harris's sexual history and the reason why she likely doesn't have any children of her own, much like Laura Loomer. I'm willing to bet she's had so many abortions that she damaged her uterus. A woman who has no biological children of her own should not be allowed to make decisions in the White House for your children." So tell me again how no one's talking about Kamala Harris not having biological kids? It's so easy to be right, and yet you guys insist on being wrong.